Welcome back, my creative cosmonauts! Mail. Eviction notice. There are 60 days to get out of here. Anyways, I know I promised you Cosplay of Color Part 2, but due to the fires here in LA in January, kind of messed up our whole shooting schedule, so don't worry, it's on the way. But today is a very special episode, so let's rock it! Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button when we drop new episodes of Techie's Kitchen, Cosmo Show, and fan film reactions, all right? Don't forget to leave a comment, because that helps. We're this close to being monetized. Sculpture! A sculpture is defined as three-dimensional form, made from a material such as clay, wax, plaster, stone, polyester, fiberglass, metal, or plastic. Basically any kind of material, really. It's just, Sculptors often use their skills to decorate public spaces. The sculpture is also sometimes used to express feelings, to tell a story, to teach, or to scare. Damn, I scared myself. Whew. Concept artist. Artisto? DJ Tiesto? Anyways. Concept artists are visual art illustrators working in an analog or digital environment. They focus on developing and designing an idea for film, TV, video games, animation, automotive, comic, live entertainment, advertising, and other medias to shape the final product. That's a lot. Woo! 3D modeling. I just love this light, but I'll miss it when it's gone. 3D modeling is the art of creating digital representation of objects or surfaces using 3D modeling software. In the most basic case, three-dimensional models can be created from simple shapes like cubes, rectangles, and triangles. These shapes are then modified into complex, high polygon designs. In the past, many computer games used pre-rendered image of 3D models as sprites before computers could render them in real time. The designer can then see the model in various directions and views. This can help the designer see if the object is created as intended to compare it to the original version. Seeing the design this way can help the designer or company figure out changes or improvements needed to the product. Then, check this out, an art director, okay? What's that? I don't know, what is it? Tell us, Cosmo. Let me tell you. An art director is a creative professional who manages the visual style of a project. They oversee the work of other art people and designers to ensure that the final product matches the client's vision and brand. But Cosmo, what's an art director's responsibility? I'm glad you asked! Develop a vision. Art directors create a visual style for a project, including the images, typography, whatever you want to say, layout, and written content. Art directors explain their vision to the team, including artists, designers, and producers. Art directors make sure the final product meets the client's needs and brands and guidelines. If you take all of those skills and put them together, you get one amazing, talented, badass mofo. I think I can say mofo on YouTube. I just so happen to know a guy that I'm absolutely honored to call my brother from another mother. Ladies and gentlemen, them, theys, extraterrestrials, the time has finally come for Eliot Sirota! But first, let's check in with Sami the Monster for Comic Book of the Day, see what she got in store for us.
This is Hello Darkness. You've probably heard me mention this before. Issue 7 was one of my favorite issues to date of the series. Now, Hello Darkness issue 7 actually has a theme to it. It is love themed. There's a really cool not safe for work Denny Frison variant as well. I'm gonna try to show it here, but I can't really show you much, but let me just give you an idea. Denny Frison, you superstar, you have done it again. This is awesome. Now, the first story in this anthology is called Love, L-O-V-E. I love the art style and the colors. You might recognize the writers on this, Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheridan. They did Kill Your Darlings from Image Comics, so I'm glad to see them working with Boom Studios. I think they're a fantastic writing duo. I also want to shout out the third story in this anthology. It is called Evermore. It is a modern-day adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, up with the creative team on the screen here. I just love this format, this horror anthology format. There are some really great stories in this issue, and I'll shout out one more story. This is Words in the Smoke by Maria Lovett. It's a vampire lover story. Vampire lover, I say that lightly if you catch my drift. It's pretty heartbreaking. You don't want to miss out on this one. I think those are probably my top 3 stories of this issue, but all the stories are fantastic. All the creatives working on this project are so talented and amazing. So shout out to you guys for bringing this comic to life. You guys are so incredible. But yeah, definitely check out Hello Darkness issue 7. The first few issues are now currently available as a trade paperback, also called a volume, so it has a spine. When it has a spine like that, you can also find that at a regular bookstore. So find a local comic book shop near you and pick up Hello Darkness right now. Do it. If you want to support the series, make sure to pick up these single issues as they come out, typically monthly.
Elliot.
Cosmoe.
What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Finally,
I'm here.
I had to catch you on the spaceship.
Sometimes work, you have to go places you don't necessarily want to go,
Exactly.
but they're still kind of fun.
Or boldly go where no one's gone before.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not in this thing.
Oh, you know.
This is more of a freighter.
We should probably put this-
Hey,
we should
careful.
put it on cruise control.
Okay, cool. Oh, hold on. Just arm the weapons just in case.
Arm the weapons?
Just in case.
Oh my god.
Self-defense.
Okay, I know you're a god among insects, okay?
Those are your words, not mine.
You've created some crazy cool stuff.
The dream was, one day to work at Industrial Light and Magic. I saw the writing on the wall, and it's like, okay, this seems to be the way to go. And I also loved the stuff I was seeing at the time. But at the time, it was The Abyss and Terminator 2 and then Jurassic Park, of course.
Jurassic Park still holds up to this day.
Still holds up to this day. And, Star Wars was as a child was what made me go, I want to work in special effects. And you'll hear that from a lot of artists in this industry of my generation and a lot of the younger generation. You'll hear Jurassic Park, you'll hear, movies that came with the quote digital age of effects.
What was your first job?
My first job in the industry technically was it was in advertising. It was not in film or TV or anything like that. It was in print, really. I had interned at a company called NCI Advertising in New York City between my junior and senior year of college, and then they came to me while I was a senior, and they were like, "We want to hire you right out of school."
Damn.
And I was thinking, I've got it made. I got a job right out of college, but at the same time, I was thinking, like, I'm not sure this is the job that I want, though. So I didn't stay there that long. I was only there about 3 or 4 months, and I said, I think it's time for me to kind of go after the thing that I've always wanted to do, because nothing was going to stop me from working in special effects.
Right.
I wanted to make creatures. I wanted to make spaceships. I wanted, all that.
Okay, so what companies did you work for? I know you worked for Jim Henson and Disney, right?
Yeah, so when I moved to Boston, I worked at a company called Roundtree 3D.
Roundtree 3D.
That's when I got to finally start working on like higher end 3D programs and learning more advanced stuff. We did commercials for the Discovery Channel, which is located in Boston.
Nice.
Another company that was in Boston who was always looking for local talent was Gillette. So remember
the best the man can get?
The best the man can get. I had to 3D model the Mach 3 razor. This was my first like super hush-hush NDA thing. It was so top secret. But this whole time I'm also like working on my demo reel because I'm like, I want to go down to SIGGRAPH. I don't want to get a job at ILM or Rhythm and Hughes or, one of these big companies you always hear about.
Digital Domain.
And Digital Domain came a knocking. They were kind of like, at the time, the antithesis of ILM.
Yeah.
When I moved out there, they'd just done Lake Placid. They had 2 Academy Awards at that point, one for What Dreams May Come, and one for Titanic.
Oh, they worked on that?
They were Titanic. They did the effects on Titanic.
Wow, I did not know that.
And that was when I learned that the VFX industry is freelance. So I got laid off after my first movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, you worked on that?
My very first movie.
Jeez.
Jim Carrey and Ron Howard and...
Oh my god.
And then I worked on a bunch of commercials while I was there, and then they laid me off. And I kind of remember kind of being devastated because I didn't quite understand that like they could bring me back if they needed me for something else. So then I worked at a video game company for a while, and I worked on the first Evil Dead video game.
No way.
Yeah.
I played that game.
Yeah.
Game sucked.
It was...
It's like,
hey, man, dude. It was for the time, it was fine. It was fine. Dude,
It was better than the Spawn game.
It was on the
and Xbox.
PlayStation and the Dreamcast.
I know.
Not PlayStation 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
PlayStation. Yeah, I played it. I
PlayStation.
played it on the PlayStation. I'm like, this is.
But Bruce Campbell did the voice.
Yeah.
And then I went back to DD a couple times, and I worked on The Time Machine and A Beautiful Mind.
Beautiful Mind. That was a great movie.
So I've gotten to work on
Russell Crowe?
two Ron Howard movies. Bounced around to some other smaller studios and stuff like that. And I was working at this studio called Stargate Digital. I got an offer to come to Disney Feature Animation. This is like the end-all be-all of animation studios. But yeah, I worked on Meet the Robinsons. So it was their second CG animated film.
Damn.
First one was Chicken Little.
Yeah.
And then I got there just as that was ending, and Meet the Robinsons, and I was an animation technical director.
Nice.
So again, another opportunity to learn how to do things that I didn't know how to do yet. I was learning how to script and write, code and programs to help the animators.
That shit's crazy. I don't understand how you people do that.
I mean, that's the cool thing. You can work in the video game industry and have no knowledge of coding, or the CG industry and have no knowledge of coding, because there's teams who handle that side of it, and then there's the art teams. So I was kind of like floating between both, which was kind of cool. I got to do the technical side and the art side at Disney.
Nice.
I was there when the Disney Pixar merge happened. And that was a very scary time, because we were all like terrified. Well, they're just going to fire all of us, and,
here's
and
a pink
Pixar
slip.
taking over. Yeah, that didn't quite happen, but they did let a bunch of us go. But a lot of people say some really horrible things about working at Disney. To their credit, they helped all of us find jobs at other studios in the city and stuff like that.
A lot of places don't do that.
They hooked me up at Jim Henson.
Oh, Jim Henson.
First thing we worked on was this thing called TJ Berry Tales, which was a toy that came with a DVD. So we did the animation for that.
So your journey throughout the years, you worked on a lot of projects, especially when you did some contract stuff for like Roger Corman, like Dino Croc.
That's another one where it's like Roger Corman was all about how much can we do on as little budget as possible.
I love that thing.
And so the first
Cosmoe show.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we got a spaceship. The first movie I got to work on for Roger Corman was called Dino Croc.
Dino Croc, it's great. I saw that.
Honestly, as far as like Roger Corman, kind of like schlock film goes, it's not a bad movie.
No.
It's definitely a Jurassic Park, rip-off kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was so fun to work on, and doing the creature and the animation, everything was great. And seeing the final product was like, this is so cool. Like, we did, like, it was me and 3 other guys. Like, that was it. And then years later, Kevin came to me because they needed help on Knights of Badassdom.
Oh, I love that.
So I've gotten to work on some pretty cool movies. Then from that, we went on to the next Roger Corman movie, which was the sequel to the legendary Sharktopus. This one was called Terracuda. It was part pterodactyl, part barracuda. We got to shoot with Conan O'Brien on the beach one day.
You got to model his head, right?
Yeah, I had to model Conan O'Brien's head for the shot where the Sharktopus, spoiler alert, where Sharktopus, after sticking his tentacle up Conan's ass, bites his head off and spits it into a volleyball game where it gets used as a volleyball. He was hilarious. And then...
But you know who else is a better legend, though?
Who?
Fawn Davis.
Fawn Davis.
Yes.
Fawn Davis is beyond a legend. Fawn Davis is mythological almost.
Right?
I met Fawn Davis because of another person who was just as legendary, who unfortunately left us in 2020, and that was Grant Imahara. Grant and I had become friends. I had won the George Lucas Fan Film Award in 2011.
I'm sorry I was not there for that. The one year I skipped out. The one year I skipped out on Comic-Con.
I did a fan film for the George Lucas Fan Film Awards.
Unlimited Power.
Unlimited Power, and I won Best Picture.
So
I got this golden
amazing.
R2 and 3PO statue, and I got to give a speech and everything.
Presented by George Lucas himself.
Well, presented on screen by George Lucas, but
on screen,
handed to me by Dave Filoni.
But Dave Filoni.
And I met Grant, and we became friends. And one day he and I were talking, and I said, I always see this guy at the cons, and he has like these giant robots at his table, and they look really cool.
Cool long hair, wearing leather jacket,
and
fat
said, what
eyes.
does he look like? I said, he's got long hair, goatee, and he's like, the robots look like very military, and I was like, yeah. He's like, that's Fawn Davis. And I was like, how do you know him? He's like, we started an ILM together on the same day. We were like two peas in a pod.
Episode 1, right?
Yeah.
They worked on
episode 1
the
together.
miniatures, the models.
And they were like best of friends. At this point, Grant was on Mythbusters and everything, but like, again, you knew Grant. He was one of the most humble, wonderful people ever.
The best energy to be around. It was amazing.
I mean, I feel like that's a whole episode right there.
Yeah. That's what we do with the whiskey drinks. sit back and talk about Grant. Yeah. That'd be a good
I'm here for that.
Be a great episode.
So he said, "Oh, next time you see him, you should say hi and tell him Grant sent you." I think it was at WonderCon, and there he is with his robots all set up, and he's got his graphic novel for Morav, which is his property that he created. So I grew up building model kits, and I always loved the art of miniatures and model kits and stuff like that. So I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, I see you at all the cons and everything, and I was talking to a friend of mine about you, Grant in my heart." And he's like, "Oh my God, you know Grant?" And I said, "Yeah." Immediately, Fawn and I were thick as thieves. We were tight friends. He's one of my brothers, just like you. I had finished Sharktopus, and I was like, "Oh, what's my next paycheck gonna be? What am I gonna do?" And Fawn said, "I'm moving down to LA, and I'm starting my own studio down there. Do you want to come and be my art director?" And I was like, "Do I? Golly, Mr. Davis. Sure I do." No, I was super excited. We've been going for 10 years strong now.
If somebody wants to get into 3D modeling, what's the best route?
Well, right now, 3D modeling is very available to everybody. If you just want to jump in, there's a program called Blender, which is an open source 3D software that you can download for free, and it has endless possibilities. A lot of people use it. Studios don't use it all that much though. But if you want to get your head wrapped around the idea of 3D, that's one way to go. And then there's tons of tutorials on YouTube, for everything from basic modeling in Maya or Blender or Houdini or whatever program you want to try, to very complicated facial rigging or particle effects and stuff like that. And there's schools now too. There's the Gnomon School of Visual Effects.
This is Thursday. Thursday happens to be your birthday.
Yes, so that is true.
I have no budget for a cake, but I got Twinkies.
What about the Twinkie?
Tell them about the Twinkie. Have a Twinkie.
Have a Twinkie?
Yes, but
my goodness.
wait. Go ahead. Grab it.
We're gonna cheers with the Twinkie?
Oh no, wait, it gets better.
Oh no.
I went.
There we go. So we stick the Pocky in the.
I guess so. Yeah.
This way or this way?
I don't know. I mean, this is the first time for everything. So
yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
I went all the way in to finally be on the Cosmo Show.
To finally being on the Cosmo Show, and this will not be the only time. I guarantee that.
No. Well, we'll have you on again.
I would wink at the camera if I could.
I'll do it for you. Both eyes. Happy birthday, my friend.
Thanks, brother.
My brother from another mother. Love you too, man.
No, I think we just discovered something new here.
Fuck, that's good.
Thank you, Eliot, for your patience. You finally got on. Happy birthday, my brother. Shoot first and prosper. Be sure to follow Eliot on Instagram at One-Eyed Jedi. Say hi, say you're a Cosmonaut, show some love. April 25th through the 27th, Jackie and I will be at Level Up Expo in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas! We're gonna be there with a bunch of cool con exclusive stuff. So if you're going, please stop by, say hi, let's take pictures and just chit chat and whatnot. We will be right next door to BYO lightsabers. So it's gonna be fun, okay? We're gonna be raffling off a few lightsabers, all 3 days long, with some Cosmo show swag. I got the moves like swaggin'. I got the moves like Cosmo. Shit. You can also get 15% off at BYOlightsabers.com by using the promo code Cosmo. Get yourself a NeoPixel baselit or a Canon style lights. They're really amazing, but you get 15% off. You can get a Cal Kestis. You can get a Kylo Ren, a Luke Skywalker, a Rey. However you want to look at that. And I know Rey was the last one to deal with the lightsabers. I had this many of arguments, whatnot, but it's actually Anakin's freaking lightsaber, okay? It just was held by a bunch of other people. It was like, no, that's not Boba Fett's armor. That's fucking Cobb Vanth. I'm like, no, it's not. Boba Fett, he stole it. Every Monday, new episodes of the DELULU Canoe podcast, hosted by the amazing, talented Derek Taylor. And I also sometimes, co-host on the side. So, I'm like that Robin chick from the Howard Stern show. But I'm there, so check it out. Be sure to say hi and head over. Show some love. Tell them you're a Cosmonaut. Head over to Patreon for early access of the Cosmo Show or Jackie's Kitchen. Also, unedited interviews and more without any kind of interruptions. If you don't have premium and whatnot, you get those commercials and kind of sucks. So check that out. And you can find us on Instagram. I know right now, the world is looking like a prequel to the movie Idiocracy.
President Camacho stood before the world and promised everyone that Joe would solve all their problems. He would not only end the Dust Bowl and heal the economy, but he would cure acne and car sickness as well.
Just hang in there, people. All right? Let's stick together. We can get through this, okay? All we need is love, peace, chicken, grease, and electrolytes.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
That water's grass. Such a stupid movie. But we're heading in that direction. I'm going to Canada.